Now, what if I told you that dairy might not be as healthy as you think? While it is packed with calcium, protein, and vitamins, it may also be linked to inflammation, digestive issues, and even chronic diseases. Is dairy good or bad for you? I'm talking about milk, cheese, and other dairy products. Milk does the body good, right? Or does it? See, for years we've been told that dairy is essential for strong bones and good health. But in recent times, many experts have started questioning this belief. Is dairy truly a superfood, or is it doing more harm than good? Today, we're going to uncover the real truth about dairy, its benefits and its risk, and whether you should include it in your diet, or better yet, ditch it altogether. So stick around until the end because I'll also share healthy dairy alternatives that could work better for your body. Welcome to my channel. I'm Dr. Adelita James, a plant-based doctor and lifestyle coach. And my mission is to help you take back control of your health and life the natural way. First, let's talk about the benefits of dairy and why it's considered healthy. When I say dairy, I mean milk, cheese, yogurt, and other foods that included this stuff. Now, dairy products have been staple in human diets for centuries. But here's why many people believe it's good for you. And the kind of information that's been handed on down from generation to generation. So dairy has become a staple for human beings because we've been told that it's what? High in calcium. Dairy is one of the richest source of calcium, which is essential for bone strength and preventing osteoporosis. Some studies suggest that dairy helps reduce the risk of fractures, especially in older adults. The second factor why people love dairy is that it's a great source of protein. Dairy contains all the essential amino acids your body needs for muscle repair and growth. And another thing about dairy is it contains beneficial nutrients. See, dairy is naturally rich in vitamin D, vitamin B12, and phosphorus, all of which support immune function, brain health, and energy production. But here's my trivia question. Did you know that some of the longest population in the world, such as the people in Sardinia and the Greek island of Icaria, consume fermented dairies like yogurt and cheese regularly? But I guess their longevity didn't lie on the dairy, per se. It's just been part of their diet, of their lifestyle, although not the main reason for their longevity. Because dairy has risks too. The risks of dairy, why some people should avoid it, is the list is also long, Despite its benefits, dairy isn't for everyone. And here's why some experts argue it might not be as healthy as we once thought. Lactose intolerance and digestive issues. Nearly 65% of the world's population has some degree of lactose intolerance, meaning they lack the enzyme needed to digest lactose, which is the sugar in milk. And that says something, right? These can lead to bloating, gassy feeling, diarrhea, and stomach discomfort. I was one of them. It took me a while to figure out what's going on in my stomach. None of the medicines worked until I eliminated dairy and finally found resolution of my struggle, of my challenge in how to feel better and get rid of the stomach discomfort. Now, the second risk of dairy intake is that Dairy has been shown in a lot of studies to contribute to inflammation. Some studies suggest that dairy can trigger inflammation, especially in individuals with conditions like acne, arthritis, or autoimmune diseases. And most especially that many of our chronic diseases now are pre predominating from inflammation. And if and dairy has been shown to be pro-inflammatory. The dairy proteins like casein and whey, they may be problematic for some people because they cause unwanted immune responses. Another risk of intake of dairy is that there's a possible link to chronic diseases. As I've mentioned, these chronic diseases, the main gateway of these chronic diseases is inflammation. Although research is mixed, but a lot of studies have linked excess dairy consumption to an increased risk of cancer, particularly prostate for men and ovarian and breast cancer for women. Others suggest dairy might play a role in hormonal imbalances due to the naturally occurring hormones in milk. And that's why there is um, a, a heavy evidence coming out about dairy promoting the growth of cancer, especially for those hormone related cancer like prostate cancer, breast cancer, ovarian cancer. Now, here's another concern for dairy is the use of antibiotics and hormones on to cows. Many conventional dairy farms use antibiotics and synthetic hormones to increase milk production in cows. There are documentaries that you can watch in Netflix about this. These substances, these antibiotics, these hormones injected to the animals, cows in particular, these substances can end up in our milk, potentially affecting our health. Should you eat dairy? I think it's a personal decision, and I made mine 8 years ago, and I never regret it. I didn't have to take any stomach medicines anymore. Anyhow, those medicines didn't work. It was just for a psychological blanket. But once I eliminated dairy in my diet, things changed for the better. And it only got better and better each time, each day. But what about you? Should you eat dairy? Here's how to decide. If you're unsure whether dairy is right for you, ask yourself these questions. Do you experience bloating or digestive discomfort after consuming dairy products? Or do you have skin issues, joint pains, or other inflammatory symptoms or diseases? Are you looking for alternative sources of calcium and protein? You don't really mind if you're, drinking milk and dairy products. You're just really concerned about the calcium and protein. Make sure you don't deplete on these things. If your answer is yes to any of this, you might benefit from reducing or eliminating dairy and trying non-dairy alternatives instead. And so, I'm not gonna leave you empty-handed on this video. Let's talk about healthy dairy alternatives. Okay? If you want to cut back on dairy but still get essential nutrients, here are some great alternatives. For those of you who are concerned about calcium intake, here are the calcium-rich non-dairy options. Almond milk, fortified plant-based milks, leafy greens, yes, yes, and yes, they do have calcium, tofu, and sesame seeds are amongst those in the plant-based world that are rich in calcium. See, we do have healthy options. And for those of you who are concerned about depleting or becoming protein deficient on shifting to a plant based diet, here are your protein non dairy alternatives. Protein rich non dairy alternatives: lentils, chickpeas, quinoa, nuts, and seeds, and many more. But those are my favorites and my go to for protein alternative food. And for those of you who are concerned about missing out on probiotics because you're not eating your yogurt anymore, dairy yogurt, probiotics, you said? No problem. Dairy free yogurts made from almond milk, soy milk, those are rich in probiotics too. What about fermented foods like kimchi, sauerkraut, and kombucha? Now, probiotics, why need that if you can have prebiotics from the natural plant based foods? So, friends, what's your take on dairy? Now that you know the pros and cons of dairy, what do you think? Do you love dairy or are you planning to cut back or bid goodbye to it? Let me know in the comments below if you found this video helpful. Like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a health tip. See you soon and in my next video. Bye!